Hare Krishna. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Labha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Banachari Jamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Banachari Jamuna Tira Banachari Jamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Sri Sri Radha Madhava Ki Jai Nitalita Vishnu Vishnupada Divine Grace the A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananda Guri Vaishnavrinda Ki Sad Goswami Prabhu Ki Namacharya Til Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopiko Shama Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Braja Bhumi Vrindavan Dham Ki Grantara Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Ki Bolo Sri Sri Krishna Baldao Ki Jai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the Assamdavadi. All glories to the Assamdavadi. All glories to the Assamdavadi. All glories to Sri Guru Gauranga. Glories to you, Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 18. Text number 8, huh? Na kaschin. That's 8. I put the marker in the wrong place. Okay. Maharaj Pariksit cursed by a Brahmin boy. Okay. Kim nu balesu shurena kalina dira biruna apramata Pramateshu yo vrika nrisu vartate kinnubalena shurena kalina dira biruna pramata pramateshu yo vriko nisu vartate kinnu baleshu shurena kalina dira biruna pramata pramateshu yo vriko nisu vartate Kim nu baleshu shurena kalina dira biruna apramataha pramateshu yo vriko nisu vartate Kim what? Nu maybe Baleshu among the less intelligent persons. Shurena by the powerful. Kalina by the personality of Kali. Dhira self-controlled. Viruna by one who is afraid of. Apramataha one who is careful. Pramateshu among the careless. Yaha one who. Vrikaha tiger. Nisu among men. Bhartate exists. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Maharaj Pariksit considered that less intelligent men might find the personality of Kali to be very powerful. But those who are self-controlled would have nothing to fear. The king was powerful like a tiger and took care for the foolish, careless persons. Translation, please repeat. Maharaj Pariksit considered that less intelligent men might find the personality of Kali to be very powerful, but that those who are self-controlled would have nothing to fear. The king was powerful like a tiger and took care for the foolish, careless persons. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Those who are not devotees of the Lord are careless and unintelligent. Unless one is thoroughly intelligent, one cannot be a devotee of the Lord. Those who are not devotees of the Lord fall prey to the actions of Kali. It will not be possible to bring about a saner condition in society unless we are prepared to accept the mode of action adopted by Maharaj Pariksit. For example, propagation of the devotional service of the Lord to the common man. Hinubale shurena kalina dira biruna apramata pramateshu yovriko nisuvartate. Maharaj Pariksit considered that less intelligent men might find the personality of Kali to be very powerful, but those who were self-controlled would have nothing to fear. The king was powerful like a tiger and took care of the foolish, careless persons. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chaksurun Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobhisam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamaya Dadati Swapadantikam Adadana Stranandantai Vridamyache Puna Puna Srimad Rupa Padambujo Dalisyam Janma Janmani Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Panchakalpatrubhyascha kripasindubhayvacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. To hear all the great saints and sages, they're glorifying Maharaj Pariksit. Vrikaha, he's like a tiger. Tigers are very, very powerful. So Maharaj Pariksit, he's just like a tiger. And it says that those who are less intelligent, baleshu, just like we know the word for child, balak, those who have childish intelligence, baleshu, they're frightened by the personality of Kali. But here it says those who are dhira. Dhira means the devotees, because they're always self-controlled. One who is not self-controlled, then he's always frightful. This whole material world is very frightening experience for those who are not devotees. Because we're all struggling very hard to find happiness. But still, somehow or other, great distress is coming. Just like I can remember in my childhood, there was one girl, she was in the class ahead of me. So we weren't part of her group. So it came her birthday, so the parents, they spent a lot of money to take all her friends up to the mountains. So the whole big endeavor, transferred all the children and the parents and make a big feast and birthday cake and so many things. Big, big endeavor. All for happiness. But at that place in the mountains, there was a waterfall. And where there's a waterfall, then there's always mist. Mist means that the rocks nearby the waterfall will be a little bit wet, so moss will come. And we know moss is very, very slippery. So that girl whose birthday, she was going near the waterfall, and she stepped on that mossy rock and fell down to her death. So whole big endeavor, big expense, everything was for happiness. But the worst thing that can happen to the parents is the children die before their eyes. So we're all struggling and struggling for happiness. But somehow misery is coming. Nobody wakes up in the morning, oh, I'm going to get hit by a car and break my leg. Everybody's thinking that somehow or other they're going to be happy. But somehow distress is coming. So we should be intelligent to understand that if without any endeavor distress is coming, then material happiness will also come without any endeavor. If the distress is coming, then why the happiness will come? Will come. These things are going on automatically by our previous karma. Only thing that will not automatically happen is Krishna consciousness. That you have to strive for. We're all struggling to find material happiness, but that will come and go according to our karma. But automatically. But not automatically we'll become Krishna. We have to make some endeavor. That is what we should make endeavor for becoming Krishna conscious. But then we have no fear of this Kali. So now, this is the time Krishna has left the planet. Actually, Kali Yuga had begun. But because Krishna was still on the planet, Kali was not able to have any effect. And we were studying about different things for our next book, Brajlila Part 3, all about Govardhan. So to Kusum Sarovar. So beside Kusum Sarovar, there's Uddhav Mandir. You have seen. Uddhav Mandir is there. So there's a story from Skanda Puran. It's not in Bhagavatam, but in Skanda Puran, a very interesting story is there. Because it is said after Krishna left, then Maharaj Pariksit, he went to Dwarka and he brought all the queens to Mathura. And all the queens, and Bajranab was also there, the great grandson of Lord Krishna. So all the queens, since they were in the Mathura, they went to take bath in Jamuna. And they saw she was flowing very sweetly, very happily. So they all began to say, Are, you're also the Patrani of Krishna, Kalindi. And we are all mourning in separation from Krishna. How are you so happy? And she says, I have benediction from Srimati Radharani that I have realized my eternal relationship with the Lord, so I never feel any separation. Is that right? How we can also get that benediction? And she very clearly says, you go to Govardhan, to Kusum Banam, to that, Kusum Sar it says. Sar and Sarovar, same thing. Kusum Sar, there you do Nam Sankirtan. Because Uddhav, he lives there in the shade of a Gulma Lata Oshadinam. Gulma bush and Lata creeper, Oshadinam, and herbs. He lives there in that form. Because after Krishna left, and Uddhav, we'll read, maybe in the same first canto we'll talk about it, also in 10th canto we're reading the same thing. So Uddhav, he went to Badrinath. But it describes how one portion stayed in Govardhan, near Kusum Sarovar, in the form of Gulmalata Oshadina. So Uddhav will appear from all the creepers, and Uddhav will speak Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam to you. And by hearing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, you'll become completely self-realized. You'll realize your eternal relationship with Krishna. There's no question of separation, and you will be never feel again the separation of Lord. So they took everybody from Mathura, all the queens and many other Brishvasis, they all came to Kusum Sarovar. Maharaja Pariksit brought them all there. And they had big festival Nam Sankirtan with different types of drums, mridangas, and so many different types of drums and beenas and so many different instruments. Big festival of Nam Sankirtan was going on. At that moment, Uddhav, he appeared from the creepers. And when he saw Maharaj Pariksit there, he became very happy. Oh, so nice to see you. You were one of the greatest devotees of the Lord, because the Lord, even when you were in the womb, he appeared to you and he protected you. So you were most dear devotee. I'm very pleased to see you. But one thing, I have some service for you. He said, yes, Maharaj, whatever service. He said, now Lord Krishna has left the planet, Kali will enter. And whatever good thing is going on, pious thing going on, he will try to give disturbance. So I want you to go fight with Kali. While here, I will speak for 30 days Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam to these queens. And they will be freed from all lamentation and realize their eternal connection with the Lord. Maharaj said, yep. So because of you, all the great saints of Bhagavatam, they will understand the fifth Purushart, which is to develop Krishna Prem. So this now, this will become famous, and all Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam become famous in whole Bharatvarsh. And then, we saw the Sanskrit very carefully, it says, because of that, eventually, this Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam will be spread throughout the world. So this pastime is predicting the appearance of a very dear and merciful Srila Prabhupada. Because now we have Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam in so many languages of the whole world. And this is predicted in the Skanda Puran, in the Bhagavad Mahatmya, that because of Pariksit Maharaj hearing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the message will become famous throughout Bharat and then will spread to the whole world. And we see that Srila Prabhupada is the one who spread this message. Now, even in your Telugu language, this funny little jalebi lipi, we have Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam in French and German and Spanish and Portuguese, so many funny languages all over the world. Now Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is there by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Jai Sisi Radhamanav Ki Jai. So this was, in our research, this was an amazing thing that we discovered. This is, Prabhupada has predicted in Skanda Purana. So now we're in that portion of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam we're going to hear, because now this chapter is entitled Maharaja Pariksit cursed by the Brahmin boy. So this is the lead up to Maharaja Pariksit hearing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So here Prabhupada says, this is the way to counteract Kali. Kali may be very powerful. But if we propagate a Krishna consciousness, devotional service to the Lord amongst the common people, then they can become intelligent. Now they're unintelligent. Because we're struggling and meeting failure all the time, and still we keep struggling. Just like, I was not there, but I was told about it. One time, in the very, very early days, there was a nice temple in Berkeley, where there's a big university. So somehow it was some appearance day or disappearance day. Somehow or other there was half-day fast. So we thought, oh my God. We were never used to fasting. We were just always eating all kinds of horrible things we won't mention. And we didn't know we were going to survive half-day fast. So anyway, finally the offering was made. Then Rajbhog Artik was there. Everybody came and were chanting, for Rajbhog Artik. Then after the Artik, the string of prayers, then everyone dashed to the Prasad hall. Oh, we made it half day. And they all sat down. And the servers began to serve out the prasada. And they were saying the prayer as fast as possible. And the servers, they served out this nice, creamy chocolate cake with chocolate icing on top. And everybody's sika went, their eyes went, whoop. Nobody could wait till that prayer is over, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama. Everybody grabbed that chocolate cake. But somehow the neophyte cooks, they put salt instead of sugar. And everybody bit that cake and went, ew. Well, maybe from fasting, the taste buds went wrong. They come, but it looks so nice. It looks so nice. So some people had to take second bite, Some people took third bite. So it's like that. We're biting this material world. It looks so nice, but every time we're getting totally frustrated. It looks so nice. Just like the young girl, she sees, oh, such a nice, handsome boy. Oh, if I could live with him for the whole my life, everything will be perfect. And they have big wedding and everything. And then several years after the wedding, he's just drinking beer and watching the soccer game on the TV. And she's coming, hey, you never take me anywhere anymore. Shut up, I'm listening to the game. So, material life, they look so nice. And somehow or other you take bite, it's like chocolate cake with salt. But we're so foolish, that it says unintelligent. We again try. Oh, that time it didn't work, but this time it'll work. Oh, that time, no, well, anyway, and now we got some more experience, so now we'll try it again. So here Prabhupada is saying, those who have no Krishna consciousness, they have no intelligence. So by becoming Krishna conscious, our hearts become purified, then we can understand that, because everybody's thinking the purpose of life is to enjoy their senses as much as possible. Just like now election's coming, everybody's going to, that will give you a car and a house and a, and a job and a house by the sea. Swami Jai Jagadish Hari. Everybody just promises sense gratification. Well, it's sense gratification. And they elect these foolish people again and again and again. And they just, as soon as they're in the government, they rob everything and run off. So, therefore, Prabhupada says here the best thing is to propagate this devotional service to the Lord. Then we can understand that actually, just like the first gift of Bhagavad Gita is you're not this body. You're the soul. So no matter how much you do to the soul, do to the body, it will have no effect for the soul. Just like Prabhupada, this was what made me a devotee. I read in Prabhupada's introduction to Bhagavad Gita, gave example that you have a bird in a bird cage. Now you can make the cage out of silver, you can make it out of gold, just imagine at today's prices. You can put diamonds and rubies and so many things, a nice TV set, HD TV, and you can put so many things. But unless you give some food to the bird, he's not going to be happy. The same way, this body is like a cage. And this Pakshi Rup Atma, he's sitting inside this cage. So we can give so many comforts to this body. Just like I was born in very nice family. We had nice house overlooking the ocean. We can see the waves come in and break on the rocks. And we had our own swimming pool. We had 2 cars, and that was a big deal. And we had a color TV. That was also a big deal those days. But my heart was feeling empty. We have everything, but there's no happiness. Unless we give food to the bird, how he'll be happy? We can do everything. We can give comforts to this body, but unless we give some food to the soul. And how to give food to the soul? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has appeared in this very dark Kali Yuga and given us this Sankirtan movement. Because Krishna is non-different from his name. When we chant the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. That goes directly to the soul. And we find real happiness. A happiness that doesn't depend on so many material circumstances. I remember, because the old days, the only thing we did was Harinam. We went everywhere doing Harinam, Harinam. And I used to meet so many people in the street. I see you guys in London, I see you in Paris, I see you in Rome, I see you in New York, I see you in LA, and you're always smiling. I go to New York, it's just a horrible place. So many millions of people and noise and it's just like India. They honk their horns. It's the only place in America where you'll hear honking the horn. I go all these places. I can't wait to go some nice place, But you guys, no matter where you are, you're smiling. Because our happiness doesn't depend on any material circumstances. We're getting that happiness that comes from contacting Krishna. Because next thing to learn, first we have to understand we're not this body. Then what am I? You're a tiny spirit soul. So what does that mean? That you're part and parcel of Krishna. The identity of the soul, Jivera Swarupoi Nitya Krishna Das. Mahaprabhu has told us. The soul is the eternal servant of Krishna. So when we act in harmony with Krishna, then everything becomes nice. Just like if we have a pool of water and we throw rocks here and there, then all the water becomes disturbed. But if we just throw the rock in one spot, then very nice little waves come out. everything is in harmony. Hmm? So when we're fighting everyone for sense gratification, then everything is agitated. But as soon as we try to satisfy Krishna, all the rocks going in the same spot, then everything becomes beautiful and calm. So this is so as soon as I read this, I understood this was a knowledge. As I was studying in university, I was frustrated. Nobody was telling what is the purpose of life, why I'm here. During vacation, I was asking this question, who am I? What am I doing here? What am I supposed to be doing? So as soon as I read this, I said, this is a knowledge I wasn't finding in university. I never went back to the university. I became a student of Bhagavad Gita and a disciple of His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. And today's the second day of the month of Magh, dark half of the month of Magh. So on the fourth day, just 2 days from now, on 29th, on that fourth day of the month of Magh, then Srila Prabhupada initiated me. This was in the old LA temple. Now they're on Vyasadeva. Before they were on La Cienega Boulevard. Right after my initiation, like 2 months later, they moved to Vyasadeva, where the temple is still there. So we were in the old La Cienega temple, an old church. Because all people were leaving, abandoning the churches. They were going out of business, so they were selling we were buying up all the churches. So many places in the world you find the original temple was an old church building. So we were in this old church building, and so I was joined in Boulder, Colorado, which is a few hundred miles away, almost 1,000 kilometers away. So we drove there to LA to get initiated, because we heard Prabhupada had come to LA, he's doing initiation. So I hadn't even done 6 months yet. I joined in September, and now it was January. But they recommended somehow, although I was super fallen, they recommended me for initiation. So I went there, but that old La Cienega temple, there was no place for Prabhupada to live in the temple. He lived in a flat nearby, and he would come in the morning, greet the deities, give class. After class, he always had Nam Sankirtan for 5 or 6 minutes. And then he went back. So we came, and by the time we arrived, it was around noon, so Prabhupada had already come and left. We weren't going to see Prabhupada till the next day was Sunday, so they were using the Sunday feast as the initiation ceremony. They advertised big fire sacrifice, so lots of people would come. Even my mother came, but she left because there was 10 people getting initiated, and this is the last time Prabhupada did everything. Right in front of you, he chanted on your beads, he gave your name, he made the fire sacrifice, he did everything himself, did the fire sacrifice, then gave the lecture, and then gave kirtan. So there was about maybe 10 of us. So it took a while. Prabhupada was chanting one round, so my mother left, but at least she got darshan to see the Prabhupada. So there was a big stage with Prabhupada's Vyasadeva, and that time we had big picture of Panchatattva. I still have a copy of that picture in my computer. That old, it was a big Panchatattva picture, and then above there was a big shelf, and then there was Lord Jagannath, and then there was another little altar, and at that time we just had little Radha Krishna, big Rukmini Dwarkadish went there, just little Radha Krishna over there. So Prabhupada was sitting down below the stage, right on the floor with all of us. And in those days, it wasn't that you went to the temple store and you bought some nice japa mala from Loi Bazaar, Tulsi mala from Loi Bazaar. We had to go and buy our own beads. was some company that made wooden beads, and then we tie a string on the doorknob and stretch it all the way across the room. Because you tie 108 knots between each. You won't believe how much string it takes up. You're all the way. You stretch it from the doorknob all the way across. And Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. You tie the Mahamantra with each knot. It just disappears. So, and the beads that I had, because Bhavananda was the one who made me a devotee, so he was a flashy guy from Hollywood, right? So we had to have, he got some beads that were very, very light colored. And when Prabhupada had them in his hand, he was holding like this and chanting, looked like string of pearls in Prabhupada's hand. And I watched how he chanted. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare, on the tip, right? Then Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, like this he chanted on it, right in front of our eyes, you know. And then I'd seen enough, or heard enough stories about people who reached for their beads with their left hand and Prabhupada pulled them back, you know. So Prabhupada looked at me. He said, so how many rounds? I said 60 instead of Prabhupada. And what are the four rules and regulations? I said, no meat eating, no illicit sex life, no gambling. And then I couldn't think. Then I can believe my mind froze. I couldn't think at all, you know, and I just sitting there. And some brahmachari behind me is saying, no drugs, no drugs. Oh, and no intoxication. And Prabhupada sat back and he laughed. He said, yes, no LSD. And he laughed at his own joke. It was so sweet. Prabhupada laughed. I say, oh, Prabhupada knows right where I am. Huh? So then he said, so your name is Deenabandhu. Deenabandhu means friend of the humble. And I guess I had still some funny look on my face from forgetting one of the regular principles. Because he handed my beads, I took my beads, and he looked at me and he said, it is all right? I guess I had a funny look on my face. Oh yes, Prabhupada is very good. Oh yes, Prabhupada, very nice. So then he did the whole, chanted everybody's rounds, gave them their names. Then he did the fire yajna. Then after the fire yajna, he gave lecture. And I still remember one piece of that lecture. He said, we have small Bengali verse, Suchi hoy, muchi hoy, yari Krishna tyaje. Muchi hoy, suchi hoy, yari Krishna bhaje. He said there's two classes of people. One is Suchi, Brahman, clean. Another is Muchi, the cobbler, dealer in skin. Prabhupada said with such distaste, skin, dealer in skin. He said, but even if one is Suchi, but he has given up Krishna consciousness, or he has no Krishna consciousness, Muchi, he immediately becomes Muchi. Suchi hoy, Muchi hoy, yari Krishna tyaje. You know, like tyag, tyaje. But even if one is Muchi, Muchi hoy, Suchi hoy, yari Krishna bhaje. Even if one is Muchi, lowest down, if he becomes Krishna conscious, he immediately becomes Suchi, highest. He said, so take advantage of this small Bengali verse, take up this Krishna consciousness and make your life perfect. And then Prabhupada climbed up on the stage and sat at his Vyasasan. This was first real Vyasasan that my very dear godbrother Narayan, he was a very artistic fellow. So he made a beautiful Vyasasan with one of those marriage umbrellas. You know, we used to get to bring from India these marriage umbrellas with all jari and everything. So he made this Vyasasan. So Prabhupada sat in the Vyasasan, he started kirtan. And we were all jumping and down. I was right in front of Prabhupada, jumping up and down. And also in those days, it wasn't that you went to the temple store and you bought a nice khadi dhoti from Loi Bazaar. we used to go to Woolworths or J.C. Penney's and buy this 65% Dacron, 35% nylon, peach-colored cloth. And like I said, Bhavananda was the one who made me devotee. So he had his connection with Hollywood, flashy guy. So he got this cloth that was very, very silky and very, very chickeny, you know. So I was jumping up and down. All of a sudden I felt it. Zit, zit. So I just grabbed my dhoti like this. Jumping it down in front of Prabhupada. And then, after the kirtan, then there was a small room on the side of the temple where Prabhupada would take prasad, and we went to the prasad hall, and we were all taking prasad, and we heard Prabhupada's leaving. So we ran out to the front of the temple. There was a little walkway and grass on either sides. So we all just were like little puppy dogs on either side of the walkway. You know? And Prabhupada was coming with his bead bag. And he would knock his bead bag on somebody's head and take another step, knock on this side, then knock on that side. So when he was walking, that means he would skip one. He would hit on this side, skip one on that side, hit this side, and skip one on that, like that. So somehow or other Prabhupada put his bead bag on my head, and then my dear godbrother Jayachitha, Prabhupada missed him, so he ran second time, got in line again, and Prabhupada missed him again. He was almost crying. And then we watched Prabhupada's car drive down the street until it was out of sight. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki. So, anybody has any questions or comments? Yes.
That one should tie a knot in the dhoti or not.
Oh, that was, I can't remember his name. He was one of the first preachers in South Africa. He may still be there. Oh, what was his name? No, not Shruti, but it was somebody else. They were in Mayapur, and they were all sitting for initiation. And some were getting Brahmanishes. They didn't have kurta. So Prabhupada saw this big knot. And he said, "What is this?" He said, "What's a knot?" He said, "Well, it's the only Sudra ties knot in his dhoti." Otherwise, this way like this. So he was always telling the story over and over again.
Also, Prabhuji, like once you were mentioning about Gayatri, so I just wanted to know that story of Gayatri, that how Brahmaji, how Gayatri name came to Gayatri. That you were telling, once you were mentioning the name, how Gayatri name came to Gayatri. So
Gayatri. Well, in Pushkar, Lord Brahma was doing a yajna. And for any type of religious performance, one has to do it with his wife. But Savitri, as per usual, she was busy doing her makeup. And the muhurt was passing for doing this sacrifice. So all the priests were upset. So finally, they took a low-class woman and they passed her through the cow, the guy. And she became purified, and they sat her down next to Brahma. And they began the sacrifice. So meanwhile, Savitri came, she became furious, and she went on top, you go to Pushkar, there's a big, tall hill there, big tall hill like this, very surprising, straight like this. And on top is Savitri Devi's temple. She's up there. Then she cursed Brahma that there'll be no temple for you. So because she went through the guy, she was pulled through the guy, so she became Gaya tree. Anybody been to Pushkar? I've been there. And it's interesting, somebody on the internet did a whole series of articles. They managed to find out well over 100 temples of Lord Brahma. Generally we hear Lord Brahma doesn't have any temple, but he did a lot of research and he did an article. Of course, one is there in Barsana, and there's right near our temple, when you come out onto the highway from the Bhaktivedanta Swami Marg and turn right to go to Delhi, then the next village down the highway is Cho Muha. So you can figure it out, Cho is a corruption of Char, and Muha means faces. Because that village is nearby a place called Brahmachari, the forest of Brahma. So Lord Brahma, he came to beg forgiveness for stealing the cowherd boys and calves. So he passed through that village, and everyone saw him and said, "Ye Chomua wali kone hai?" Ye Chomua wali kone hai? So that village became no Chomua. And just outside the village, there's a very beautiful temple of Lord Brahma, where Lord Brahma begged forgiveness. So if there's no other questions, we can fall down at the very soft and wonderful lotus feet of that great personality who's given a solution to this Kali Yuga, propagating the devotional service of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Also, if somebody who hasn't taken Baba's book, you can please come and take. So can sign also. It's 400 rupees of transcription of Baba's lecture of Vrindavan series. Or dear Prabhu helped a lot with this book. If you haven't taken any copy,